Dear all, welcome to the playlist of Training on Competitive Examination. Today, I'll be discussing most important questions related to digital electronics. Let me discuss the questions one by one. Moving on to first question. Number 85 in BCD code is dash. We have four options. I need to find out the best option. Now, let us convert 85 corresponding to BCD. Actually, number 85 you have to consider. It is a decimal number. 85 I'll be writing. So I'll be putting like this. 85. It's a decimal number. Now, corresponding 85, I need to write BCD. BCD is nothing but binary coded decimal. That is BCD. Okay. Let us convert 85 into BCD code. Before converting 85 into BCD code, let me write one thumb rule. 1, then 2, 4, 8. You need to consider a 4-bit number. 1, 2, 4, 8. The position 1 is known as least significant bit and position 8 is known as most significant bit. Now I need to convert 8 and 5, corresponding 8 and 5 in the form of this particular format. So let us consider 5. 5 is locating at the LSB. So let me consider 5, number 5. So 5 I have to write 5. From the sequence, how we can make out 5? That means 1 plus 4 is nothing but 5. The position at 8 and 2, I can put 0. Position at 4 and 1, I will be putting 1. So same sequence I can follow. Then corresponding 1, what should I write? I need to write 1. Okay. Then corresponding 2, I will be writing 0. I will be writing 0. Then corresponding 4, I will be writing 1. Why? Because 4 plus 1 should be 5. Then corresponding 8, I will be putting 0. I will be putting 0. So this is the answer for 5. 5 I have converted into BCD. That is 0, 1, 0, 1. Now let me consider 8, number 8. Look at this sequence. 8, 4, 2, 1. Here, how we can make out 8? That means 1 can put 0, 2 should be 0, and 4 also should be 0. At this position, all the numbers should be 0 except 8. So 8 I can put 1. Corresponding 8 I can put 1. Then remaining portion, I will be putting 0. 0, then again 0, then again 0. Okay. 85 can be written as 1, 0, 0, 0. Then this portion. 0, 1, 0, 1. So this is the final answer. So this is decimal. I could convert this decimal into BCD. BCD is nothing but binary coded decimal. We need to learn about BCD. What is BCD? Let's have a discussion. Option C is the right answer for this question. Elaboration of BCD is binary coded decimal. In this BCD, each decimal digit is represented by a 4-bit binary number. BCD is a way to express each of the decimal digits with a binary code. In this BCD, with 4 bits, we will be representing 16 numbers. That means starting from 1 to 15. This will be equivalent to 15 and this should be equivalent to 0. 0 to 15. Okay. So this is about BCD. So it is very easy to convert the decimal number into binary coded decimal. Moving on to next question. The gates required to build a half adder. Option A, XOR and AND gate. Option B, XOR and OR gate. Option C, XOR and NOR gate. And option D, for NAND gate. Which would be the right answer? So to make out half adder, you can build XOR and AND gate and it can be easily form a half adder. Let us discuss more on the half adder. Half adder is a combinational circuit that performs simple addition of two binary numbers. We have input of A and B. The output will be sum and carry. So this is a simple block diagram of half adder. Regarding the truth table of half adder, you can observe A and B are the input and outputs are sum and carry. So 0 plus 0 is nothing but 0. Carry also should be 0. Then 0 plus 1 is nothing but 1. Then carry will be 0. Similarly, 1 plus 0, it is nothing but 1 and carry will be 0. But if you add 1 and 1, then sum will be 0 and carry will be 1. So this is the truth table of half adder. Now we can realize the truth table of half adder with the help of Karnaugh map. So by using Karnaugh map or K-map, you can able to draw the logic diagram. First, let us consider inputs are A and B and output will be sum. Now you have to plot the K-map for this sum output. First output will be sum only. So you have to construct the K-map. Then if you construct the K-map, you have to do the grouping. So 1 and 1 can be done as a grouping. Okay, any convenient method you can adopt. So grouping can be done. So once you complete the grouping, I'll be getting A bar B plus A B bar. So it is nothing but XOR gate. A bar B plus A B bar. This is actually the format of XOR gate, and you can represent sum in the form of XOR gate. Inputs are A and B and output will be after the XOR gate, you will be getting the output. Sum will be the output of XOR gate. Then regarding the next output, that is carry. So how to make out carry? Same method you can adopt, that is K-map you can adopt. So if you apply K-map, then I'll be getting this truth table and I can formulate this particular K-map technique. Once you get the output, once you solve this K-map, you will be getting carry is equal to AB. So what is the output of AB? That is nothing but AND gate. So if you consider AND gate, the output will be AB, A dot B. So we can say that there are two segments. First segment is XOR gate, other segment is AND gate. So AND gate is applicable for showing the carry and this will be applicable for showing the sum. Now by combining XOR gate and AND gate, I'll be getting the output of half adder. Moreover, you can express half adder with the help of universal gate. Universal gates are nothing but NAND gate and NOR gate. Then by using NAND gate, you can easily construct half adder. That is 5 NAND gates should be used to form half adder. Then similarly, you can make out with the help of NOR gate, that is 5 NOR gate has to be used for formulating half adder. There are few drawbacks regarding half adder. Let us discuss the drawback of half adder. These simple binary addresses are called half adder is that there is no scope for them to add the carry bit from the previous bit. That's the main drawback of half adder. To overcome the half adder, we'll be using full adder. Let us have one discussion about full adder. I'll be giving one question for you. The gates required to build a full adder. Option A, 2 XOR 2 and 2 OR, then 2 XOR 2 and 1 OR, 10 NAND gate and 8 NAND gate. Which will be the right answer? The full adder is nothing but the combination of two half adder. In one half adder we require one XOR gate and one NAND gate. Then I need to add these two half adder. For that purpose, 2 XOR gate and 2 AND gate will be there. Apart from that, to add those two combination, we need one OR gate. Therefore, I can go for option B. So this is the way how to analyze regarding full adder. As you can observe, this is a block diagram of full adder. That means the combination of two half adder plus one OR gate. This forms the full adder. So you can form the full adder by using this combination. Or else you can make out with the help of NAND gate also. These are the different feasibility. We require 9 NAND gates to form full adder. I would like to discuss question number 4. A ring counter is same as option A, up down counter, option B, parallel counter, option C, ripple counter, option D, shift register. Which would be the right answer? Option D is the right answer. So let us understand what do you mean by ring counter and what is the significance of shift register. The first point, ring counter is typical application of shift register. And also ring counter is almost same as that of shift register or shift counter. What is the change? What is the difference? The only change is that output of the last flip-flop is connected to the input of first flip-flop in case of ring counter. But in case of shift register, it is taken as output. That's the main difference between ring counter and a shift register. Basically same, but this is a minor difference that you have to understand. You can observe the representation of ring counter. We have flip-flop number 1, flip-flop number 2, 3, 4. There are 4 flip-flops has been arranged, and this is the way how it has been connected. And we are providing the common clock so that it becomes a synchronous counter. This is becoming a synchronous counter. If I didn't put a common clock, then it forms asynchronous counter. That means clock should be given independently, so it becomes asynchronous counter. For this case, there is a common clock which is provided for each and every flip-flop. So we can say that this is one of the asynchronous counter. One more important questions. The number of states in the ring counter is directly proportional to number of flip-flop is used. That is one of the most important question for all the MCQ examinations regarding pulse and digital electronics. This point also you have to note down. Let me explain question number 5. Twisted ring counter is also known as option A, Johnson ring counter, option B, straight counter, option C, one hot counter, and option C, none of this. Johnson ring counter is the right answer. It is also known as twisted ring counter. There are different names available. So this is actually representing the Johnson counter. It is also known as switch tail ring counter, or else you can call walking ring counter, or you can call Johnson counter. There are 3 varieties of names available. It connects the complement of the output of lap shift register to the input of first register and circulate a stream of ones allowed by zeros around the ring. You can directly observe the diagram. This is representing Johnson counter. Question number 6. Dash flip-flop is used as latch. Option A, JK flip-flop, option B, D flip-flop, and option C, RS flip-flop, and finally T flip-flop. Which would be the right answer? D flip-flop is normally used as latch. So we have to bifurcate what is latch and flip-flop. Actually, flip-flop and latches are used as data storage element. That's very important. A flip-flop is a device which stores a single bit, or you can call binary digit of data. One of its 2 states are represented as 1 and other will be 0. Now we have to bifurcate latch and flip-flop. So moving on the bottom, flip-flops, regarding flip-flop, and the clock is present always, but in case of latch there won't be any clock. Regarding flip-flop and latches, both are bistable devices. There are different varieties of latch are available, like SR latch, gated SR latch, gated T latch. Looking at flip-flop, we can classify SR flip-flop, JK flip-flop, D flip-flop, pulse trigger flip-flop, etc. Then latches are basically asynchronous bistable devices, where flip-flop is synchronous bistable device. Moreover, you can bifurcate the latch and flip-flop based on the performance. Regarding the latch, design is noisy. Then looking at the flip-flop, design is robust. Then latch consumes less power, where flip-flop consumes highest power. Then area of the latch is very less, but flip-flop area is high. Then time borrowing facility is available for latch, but it's not available in case of flip-flop. Similarly, more prone for glitches in case of lap, but high immune to glitches. That's a peculiarity of flip-flop. Advantages of flip-flop. Then latch is level sensitive, whereas flip-flop is edge sensitive. These are the major peculiarity of latches and flip-flop. Moving on to question number 7. Which of the following is a sequential circuit? Option A, AND, option B, NAND gate, option C, bistable multivibrator, option D, XOR gate. Actually, AND gate, NAND gate and XOR gate all are known as combinational circuit. Except bistable multivibrator, all are known as combinational circuit. Then what do you call for bistable multivibrator? This is basically sequential circuit. So I can go for option C, bistable multivibrator, which is a sequential circuit. What is a sequential circuit? Sequential circuit produces an output based on the current input and previous input variables. That's a peculiarity of sequential circuit. So what's the difference between combinational circuit and sequential circuit? This typical block diagram explains the difference between combinational circuit and sequential circuit. Actually, combinational circuit with the memory element, that is known as a sequential circuit. In combinational circuit, that means AND gate, then NAND gate and XOR gate. That produces the output which is not depending on previous input variables. Okay, so this is the difference between sequential and combinational circuit. This type of circuit uses previous input, then clock and memory element. So that's a peculiarity of sequential circuit. So bistable multivibrator is one of the example of sequential circuit. I would like to explain question number 8. The ECL can be used to switch frequencies as high as 1 megahertz, 100 megahertz, 1 gigahertz, and finally 500 megahertz. So let us understand what is ECL. Before that, you can opt option number D is the right answer for this question. So what is ECL? Emitter coupled logic, that is known as ECL. ECL is a BJT based logic family which is generally considered as fastest logic available. So that is the elaboration of ECL. There are different logic families are available like TTL, then CMOS, many more available. Then regarding the performance, the standard TTL family offered 20 nanoseconds gate delay. Then regarding CMOS family, that always maintain a delay of 100 nanoseconds. But in case of ECL, it offers an incredible delay of only 1 nanosecond. So that's a comparison between TTL, CMOS and ECL. Furthermore, the fan out of ECL that is equal to 25. I'll be explaining fan out later on. Similarly, in ECL, the transistors are never be in saturation. The input or output voltages have small swing, that is around 0.8 volt. The input impedance is high and the output impedance is low in case of emitter coupled logic, that is ECL. I would like to explain what is fan out. The number of loads the output of a gate can drive without affecting its usual performance is known as fan out. The fan out of ECL family, that is around 25. So this can be asked in other type of MCQs. Let me explain question number 9. Which of the characteristics are not true for TTL logic? Option A, fan out is 10. Option B, propagation delay is 1 nanosecond. Option C, noise margin is 0.5 volt. And option D, basic gates used is NAND. Actually, regarding TTL family, fan out will be 10. Similarly, noise margin will be almost 0.5 volt. Then normally we will be using NAND gate. But the propagation delay is not equal to 1 nanosecond. It is having the value more than that. So I choose option B. Option B is the right answer. Next question. Which of the following circuit can be used as parallel to serial converter? Option A, digital counter. Option B, decoder. Option C, demultiplexer. And option D, multiplexer. Which would be the right answer? Option D is the right answer for this question. Multiplexer. Let me explain something about this concept. A digital device that converts a group of simultaneous inputs on two or more parallel channels, often constituting a specific data unit such as a byte or a word, into corresponding time sequence signal elements on a single channel. Similarly, regarding the parallel to serial converter, the parallel to serial converters are used in electronic and fiber optic transmission systems such as electronic or fiber optic. Multiplexer is nothing but many input. It is having many input and a single output. Same thing is happening in case of parallel to serial converter. So many input and single output. So that's a peculiarity of multiplexer, and that can be applied in case of parallel to serial converter. If you are having any queries, you can put up in the comment box. Thank you very much for watching this video. You may share this video for those who are preparing for competitive examinations. If you found this channel useful, please do subscribe. If you are looking for non-technical examination, you can refer my another channel, that is Winners Capsule. Finally, thank you very much for your kind support.